I am sorry. However, this team just sucks in crunch time. I mean, how are they this bad?
Well, James Harden has a long history of it. You can't be surprised by that. None of us are surprised.
Okay, then that's the front office's fault for even bringing him into the 76ers, thinking that somehow he was going to change this. I mean, Daryl Morey, the general manager, should know him better than anybody. He saw all those failures up close and personal.
Yes.
And couldn't wait to bring him in.
Well, they did get rid of Ben Simmons in the deal.
Yeah, he got a last laugh yesterday.
Sort of. We'll get it out in a minute. I mean, listen, he was watching the playoffs from home. That's all you need to know. Here's why it's not an ideal position for an NBA player. That's Ben Simmons. As for Harden, here's the thing. There's either a great game Harden, which we saw, games 1 and 4, I believe, or a bad James Harden. Isn't there a middle road James Harden? At some point, can't he just be a normal NBA player who doesn't have a great game, doesn't have a bad game? So I had fooled myself into thinking, you know what? If he just gives us 18 points or 20 points and 11 assists and lets Joel Embiid, here's the thing, and lets Joel Embiid be the star, then the Sixers have a good chance. So that formula obviously did not work. Did not work, Maggie.
How about 9 points? Can you live with 9 points? How about also, I mean, Harden went Harden, right?
Yes.
So at some points, he's a future Hall of Famer, he's a former MVP, but everyone knows he stinks in closeout games in the playoffs, and he was a no-show. He was bad in Game 6, and he was bad in Game 7. And by the way, this comes back to the 76ers should have closed this out in 6 games. They had Boston on the ropes. Tatum couldn't hit a shot. You gave them life. He got hot in the fourth quarter, and he just carried that over to Game 7 where Tatum was electrifying. He had 51 points, 17 for 28 from the field. He literally made history yesterday. That's the most anyone's ever scored in a Game 7.
Yeah, that long-standing record.
Yeah, well, Steph Curry broke it last record. And last round, rather.
Yeah. But, no,
it's okay.
Tatum was incredible, but they didn't even need those 50 points from Tatum. I think there were 7 players on the Celtics who played better than any 76er.
It's disappointing because of Embiid. So let's hear a little of Embiid, shall we? Because this is getting a lot of attention because Embiid has this penchant, Perloff, for after the Sixers get eliminated, which you mentioned, 5 of the last 6 years they've gotten eliminated in the second round, for maybe saying a little too much.
Yep.
And he and Harden were terrible yesterday, and afterwards, he said, well, they need more help.
You can't win alone. I can't win alone. Me and James, we just can't win alone. That's why basketball is played 5-on-5. So, we just need everybody to just, try to keep finding ways to get better, and, we'll be fine.
Yep, no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. And
Nope.
Dame Lillard even quote tweeted and said, huh? Like Dame Lillard would kill to have one of these guys next to him, even if it is crappy Harden, because he's had such little help over the years. No, they can't be on the same team. But you know what I'm saying? Like Dame's out there really trying to do it all alone. And meanwhile, these two guys are, 2 great NBA players who no-showed in a Game 7.
Yeah. I'm very well aware. Thanks for rubbing it in.
I'm just explaining what's going on. And Embiid didn't make it easier on himself.
So when I saw this quote, I was infuriated. But several people point out that he talked for a long, long time. Talked for 20 minutes. And I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he can't really be saying that it was all on the other guys besides him. And I heard enough of other little tidbits where he was taking some responsibility. It wasn't like he said, oh, that wasn't mine and James' fault, because that's insane. Of course it was their fault. They were terrible yesterday. He could be ripping Tobias Harris and DeAndre Melton and all these guys, right?
Okay. He did take a lot of responsibility. Let's hear the other Joel Embiid. So to be fair to Embiid, this is what he said before he said that it can't be just him and Harden alone. That's why basketball's 5-on-5. He did take some ownership.
We all got to look at ourselves. I got to be better, and I will be better. That's what I'm focused on. All of us, we got to, come back and find ways to just keep improving and, help the team.
I got to be honest. I don't think anyone believes him. And Embiid is a fantastic player. He was awesome. Many points in these playoffs, he was awesome. But I don't think anyone believes that they can actually get back, Perloff. I'm sorry to say, I think the process never worked.
Wait, this has nothing to do with the process.
Well, everything has something to do with the process.
Well, the process would have worked. So they fired the guy, the genius, Sam Hinkie, who came up with the process, and the next set of GMs The first thing they did was they drafted Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
So if they just drafted Jason Tatum, then Jason Tatum couldn't have scored 51 points against them last night. So let's start there.
2 titles if you
They would not have traded for James Harden. There's so many things that went wrong after the process. So you can't blame the process. The process was sound. They would have had Jason Tatum if Sam Hinkie was the GM. There was a lot of opportunities. That was a long time ago. They've made so many mistakes since then. I mean, their GM, Brian Colangelo, got fired for having a fake Twitter account.
Yeah, multiple burners.
And then they had Elton Brand, who wasn't good. And now they have Daryl Morey, this genius, who's in love with James Harden. So how is that on the process?
Well, I don't think anyone believes Embiid. And at least today. And Embiid, to me, embodies the process because I saw a lot of when Embiid finally won the MVP a couple weeks ago, the process worked.
You're right.
And I'm here to tell you it didn't because the multiple second-round exits. And here's the thing. Embiid, though, has some baked-in excuses. He clearly wasn't 100%. He stepped on Marcus Smart in the first half of this game. I thought that might have been something. Re-aggravated the knee, maybe tweaked the ankle, whatever. He's always so banged up. It's like hard to blame him necessarily, but he's the MVP. He was out there. Yep. This happened on his watch. And I just don't think there's a lot of faith that they're ever going to really be contenders.
Oh, you're 100% right. To make it a bigger picture question. Okay. Can a center like that win an NBA title?
Well, we'll see if Jokic can do it. I mean,
I think it's a real referendum on Jokic, believe it or not. I think it's a referendum. If he goes out in this round, then I think people are going to start to realize that MVPs and big men are great in the regular season, but you can make them ineffective in the postseason. So I think there's a lot riding on Jokic advancing. Otherwise, people will be like, why do I have to put all this money into these centers who get a lot of points in the regular season but can't win in the playoffs?
Listen, I know he's not labeled as a center because I guess Brook Lopez is technically the center, but Giannis is a big man. No. Anthony Davis is a big man. Well,
yes, the other guy. Anthony Davis won one in the bubble. He's not a big man like Embiid's a big man, and neither is Giannis. And Embiid's 7'2", 310 pounds.
Listen, I think you want to make this about the big man because I think you're deflecting. This is about the Sixers. Their body language is terrible. The coaching is suspect. This is about this team.
No. I think I think you're wrong. I think it's about that kind of center cannot be the 1A in a playoff. Like, Embiid's never going to be LeBron or Michael Jordan. He's never going to be able to do that because you can neutralize those kind of big men. You saw what happened last night. The Celtics started raining threes on him. I don't care if he could have put in 20 more two-pointers. You need wing players, so they need the right wing players around him. That's why I'm not giving up hope. He just cannot do it alone. He's right. He needs a bunch of really, really good wing players, and then maybe he can win.
Okay. So the whole team needs a massive makeover?
Yes, they need to be built like a champion, not where the ball just goes to Embiid and stays there for 15 seconds or goes to Harden. They need the kind of players the Celtics have, these really talented defensive wing players and scorers. Yeah, I mean, look at who's alive now. Does anybody team look like the Sixers? Not really.
No, but, I mean, we're going to talk about the Lakers a lot. And the Lakers, I know Anthony Davis didn't do a lot of scoring in the second half of Game 6, but he's clearly effective. He's altering shots. He's shot blocking. Oh. Like, that is a big part of this. I know the Warriors ran out of steam. They ran out of gas. But, I mean, Are
you willing to die on a hill for Anthony Davis? It's going to give you a consistent 6 games right here, Maggie?
Of course not. I mean, I'm a human being. I watch basketball. I've got eyes. No. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm just telling you, we do have 2 big men who are a 2-time MVP and Anthony Davis, who is one of the 75 greatest players of all time, according to the NBA. And these are 2 of the last 4 remaining teams have big men who they rely on.
Yeah, you take LeBron off those Lakers, and there's no Anthony Davis. So forget. I don't put Anthony Davis in the same sort of pond as Joker and Embiid. He's just much more. He's a little shorter and he's more mobile. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. He's not a center. He's not a center. He's not a center like Akeem's a center. Like Anthony Davis is really a power forward.
Manny, this is the song only when the 76ers win.
Is this supposed to be a dig? I don't even care.
Manny, don't.
I'm already dead. It doesn't matter.
We've already drank Perloff's tears. We don't need this. This is just rubbing it.
All right. Besides that, Dave, can we just Anthony Davis is not a center like Joel is a center. Can we just all agree on that?
Sure. Whatever makes you sleep at night, Perloff.
Do you think he's the great centers of all time? David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, Anthony Davis? No, he's a 4.
No, but these guys also are able to hit threes. Yes, they're very different now. They all have a different skill set. You know, I never watched any of those big men step out, hit threes. No, they were posted up under the basket. They were doing back to the basket stuff. Of course it's different now. But I can still tell you that 2 out of the last 4 teams do have big men who they are either make or break winning a title with. Like if they don't play well, they're not winning a title. And that's Anthony Davis and Jokic. Okay, let's say a 7-footer over as your star player. Give me the last team to win a title like that. Kevin Durant on the Warriors. Kevin Durant. He's a 7-footer. I mean, it's not the same.
I don't think he's quite 7 feet, though. Is he? He's listed at 6'10", and he's really 6'11". But no, seriously, give me a big plotting center like Joel. It doesn't work in today's NBA, so you need great wing players, and they don't have them.
You thought you were winning Game 7. You can't give me this BS on Monday.
The spread came. Well, I didn't think we were winning the title, even if we did win Game 7, because Jimmy would have just destroyed the Sixers single-handedly.
And you want to know what that is? Yeah. That's upstairs. That's mental toughness.
No,
yes, it is.
It's makeup of your team. I mean, perimeter players win in the NBA in the playoffs, and the Heat got a lot more than the Sixers.
Okay, but you could not, if the Sixers had advanced, there's no way you could make a case that the Heat had the better roster.
Yeah, but there's no way you could play 50 series with Jimmy Butler against the Sixers, and Jimmy's winning 49 of them.
I think that's because he lives rent-free in Joel Embiid's head, too. And I think that's a mental makeup thing. And that's where another thing about Embiid, do you worry about that? Because, again, the body language was bad yesterday. Where's the fight? And maybe he doesn't feel like he's got the right guys to fight with, because I've seen it from Embiid before. I know it's in him. It just wasn't there.
Well, it's just hard for a center. I just think he can't control the game like Jimmy Butler can control the game, because he doesn't have the ball in his hand. And when he does, remember the Game 6 where they lost? What did he say? I didn't get the ball in the last 4.5 minutes. That's what you can do to a big center. It's hard.
Got to be honest, though, if we are going to criticize everything about Embiid and Harden, and they deserve it, one thing Harden was not doing yesterday, he was not dribbling the ball for 18 seconds. They were getting in the lane.
Oh, I totally disagree.
In the third quarter, when the game was decided, he was getting in the lane and kicking it out to every corner, and the Sixers couldn't hit a shot.
I'll show. We'll get the TV. There were so many possessions in the third quarter where he held onto the ball at the top of the key.
Dude, not when the Celtics were on their big run.
Yeah, he was trying to do something, and then he missed a bunch of shots, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. And then he backed off. But he did have a phrase in the beginning of the third quarter where he was holding on to the ball. He always says, just to get over the half-court line, it takes him 8 seconds.
For some reason,
he's a 24-second clock eater.
The 76ers are never... there's never urgency. I always thought that's because they're trying to give Joel as much time as possible to get back down the court without him having to sprint.
I think it's more James Harden is so winded because he just had 3 hoagies before the game. I mean, can we talk about fitness? Is that an obvious? I mean, your eyeballs don't lie. Sure, it looks like James Harden's out of shape to me. Sure, it looks like Joel Embiid's out of shape to me.
Well, Embiid, though, doesn't he have a little bit of an excuse because of the knee, right? He missed some time. He's kind of like hulking.
Yes.
That's how it would, and that's what the thing about Embiid, he's this hulking kind of guy, yet he's falling all the time, too. It's like the dude's always on the ground. Every time he goes to the basket, he's always falling down. That's got to take its toll at some point.
Yeah, when things were going well, everyone said, oh, he knows how to fall, and that's how he avoids injury. He learned playing soccer, whatever. I have no idea. The truth is, whatever is going on now, it's not going to work. And we haven't even talked about Game 7. Doc Rivers. Oh, man. Don't even start on that. I mean, talk about history.
Harden-esque.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could share notes on how to blow a Game 7.
I mean, what was it? 6-10 in Game 7s all time, I believe, is his record. I mean, just atrocious. Oh. And it's not like Doc's had bad teams.
No, I mean, Doc's had success too. Let's not say he's a total failure, but he is really on a bad run in key moments.
This one is woof.